storm preparation. We have projections that are forecasting anywhere from 12 to 18 inches of heavy, wet snow. I'll stress that, it's heavy, wet snow with this incoming winter storm that we're expecting. We want to stress that the storm, while it's going to begin late this evening, we're going to probably see the heaviest snow during the day tomorrow. We want to stress that there is a potential for 1 to 2 inches of snow to be falling an hour. That is extremely heavy snow. Do not think that you can go out in it. Do not think that you can get through it. Do not think that you can just run to the store. This is the type of snow that is incredibly dangerous. Our crews do a great job of plowing during a storm. We keep the roadways to the hospitals as open as we can. But when it is snowing at that rate, it is not safe to be out driving, period, full stop. So make your plans today, make sure that you've got milk in the fridge, whatever you need at home, but it is not going to be safe. If these projections bear out, it is not going to be safe to be out driving tomorrow. DGS will be focusing on, as I said, emergency routes. Please be mindful that when streets have snow on them, they are going to be slippery, they are going to be slick. If you don't need to go out, stay home. And with more on that, I would like to invite our Commissioner, Sergio Panunzio, to come up and discuss how DGS is preparing for this storm and what they're going to be asking of you.
Thank you, Mayor. I thought I was overdoing this winter press releases, but never know what Mother Nature brings you. Next 24 hours are going to be challenging for us. We're asking everyone to stay home if they can. We're expecting the snow to begin sometimes around 11 o'clock tonight and throughout the duration of overnight into Tuesday, and then breaking off sometimes during the morning, early morning on Wednesday. So a substantial amount of snow, lengthy snowstorm. We're prepared for it. We'll have more than 50 pieces of the equipment out. We didn't pre-treat the streets because they were already done. So we have enough material on the ground that to support another round. We have all of our shifts and crews in. All personnel is accounted for. All vacations and days off have been suspended for this storm. We ask people to stay off the streets. If you don't have to be on the street, don't be on the street. It's going to be slippery. Like I said, it's going to be challenging for pedestrians. It's going to be challenging for vehicle traffic. Visibility may be a problem, where the intensity, as the mayor pointed out, it's going to be significant at some time during the storm. So again, we ask everybody to be patient, get your milk and everything else that you need to get done today, because the next 24 hours is going to be challenging. So I'm going to turn it over back to the mayor so she can talk about some other logistics. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And one of the things that really helps our snow removal efforts is getting cars off the street, which in a city like Albany is really challenging. I just want to remind everyone, in the suburbs where most people have a driveway, snow emergencies are declared and there's no parking during the storm. That's very difficult in the city of Albany because of the number of people that rely on on-street parking. But we are doing all that we can to create other options for people who normally park on the streets. So we are suspending the timed parking restrictions in Washington Park and in Lincoln Park beginning at 6 p.m. tonight. So when you come home from work, if you live in the Center Square neighborhood, if you live in the South End and you normally park on the street, you will be able to park in the park and not have those timed restrictions apply. We are also opening some interior roads in Washington Park to expand the number of people that can park there. We are also working on some options with our partners to determine whether there are some other lots that can be open and available for people to park. So stay tuned. If you live in neighborhoods where people really rely on parking on the street, we're going to see if we can get some more lots open, and we will be announcing those if they do become available. We are going to, we are also, through our partnership with the Albany Parking Authority, announcing that all Zone C residential permit holders, so if you are in Zone C and you have a residential parking permit, you will be able to park at the riverfront garage, and you'll be able to leave your car there until Friday morning. You will need to move your car Friday morning, but you will be able to park your car there to get it off the street so that our plows can get down the streets. We will not make a determination as to whether we are declaring a snow emergency until we see how much snow falls on Tuesday. So the earliest that a snow emergency would begin would be Wednesday evening if we declare it. I also want to give a message to anyone who is a UAlbany student and may have left your car parked on the street. This is spring break. If you have left a car on the street, call a friend. Hopefully you left the keys behind, but we are very concerned that if we do have to declare a snow emergency, if people left cars parked on the streets, they're going to come back from spring break and that car is going to have been towed. So, you know, I just want to, for any UAlbany students that are still in town, maybe you can help a friend get these cars moved off the street in anticipation if we do have to declare a snow emergency. So again, we won't make that determination until we see how much snow falls, what happens with the temperatures, but we are anticipating that if we get the full amount of snow, we may very well have to declare a snow emergency. So we're going to have somebody from National Grid speak to us. We know that this is going to be a wet, heavy snow, which creates other issues. So I want to start with Chief Gregory talking about EMT calls and safety when we have a wet, heavy snow like this. Chief Gregory.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. As the entire Capital Region prepares for this upcoming snowstorm, the Albany Fire Department is also getting ready. All firehouses will be fully staffed as always, but we'll also be ready to implement our inclement weather operational policy, which allows us to have additional apparatus and firefighters available for deployment to any medical or safety needs of our citizens. So we just want to offer up some helpful tips and reminders to keep in mind. Have flashlights, blankets, and extra clothing ready in case the power goes out. Make sure all cell phones are fully charged prior to the snow's arrival. Please avoid using candles as a method of lighting your rooms. Do not use a gas oven to try and heat your residence. If using a space heater, move any flammable objects at least 3 feet away from the unit and always turn the unit off when you leave the room. Generators should always be used outside. Be sure to keep all vents and pipes clear of snow to avoid carbon monoxide buildup. And check on any neighbors who are elderly or may have difficulty getting out of their home. And make sure your house number is visible so that emergency responders can find you if necessary. And keep walkways and stairs clear from snow to allow access for us if we need to assist you. And remember, please do shovel out your hydrants, if possible, on your property and around your property. In the event of an emergency, dial 911. Your Albany Fire Department will be ready. So stay safe out there, and thank you. Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks, Chief. The police department is also preparing for this. They are great at getting alerts out on Nixle, and I'd like to invite Deputy Chief Foley up to say a few words.
Good morning. The police department continues to monitor the storm and communicate with other departments to ensure we're working together to effectively serve this community. We are ready for whatever the storm brings. All shifts are fully staffed, and police officers will be out on patrol to ensure residents and businesses remain safe. This storm has the potential to create hazardous travel conditions. We encourage you to avoid any unnecessary travel and stay at home if you're able to. This will allow the Department of General Services the ability to effectively clear our roads. In addition, staying off the road will make it easier for police, fire, and ambulances to respond to emergency situations. Please do not hesitate to call the police department if you see someone who may be in need of shelter. We continue to work closely with HADIS and other agencies in our city who remain committed to serving our homeless and ensuring that they have shelter and are safe. Let's hope we don't have to, but in the event the city has to declare a snow emergency, we ask you please move your vehicles in accordance with the snow emergency. Doing so will allow DGS the ability to clear the streets as efficiently as possible. We also encourage everyone to follow the Albany Police Department social media pages for the latest updates and information. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Nextdoor. Further, as the mayor had just mentioned, you can follow us and subscribe to Newschannel, and you can receive text messages and emails with most up-to-date information. This you can do so by visiting our website at www.albanynewyork.gov. Again, please plan ahead, look out for one another, and avoid unnecessary travel. We'll be there to assist you and all the other agencies in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And again, I can't stress enough, Newschannel is a great way for us to be able to get emergency alerts to you. So please go to albanyny.gov, sign up for those notices if you don't get them now. I would like to invite up Mike Diacetes to talk to us about the National Grid plans for this storm. As I mentioned, this is supposed to be a very heavy, wet snow, and we know that National Grid is in preparedness for this, and he's going to give us some more information.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing us to share a little bit about our storm preparations. So we began tracking the storm forecast Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, when it began to materialize, we pulled the trigger on our comprehensive emergency response plan. Some of those activities include increasing our staffing and extending crew coverage throughout the evening and overnight hours. It also includes securing supplemental external resources, additional labor for line, tree, forestry, and other crews that would support our restoration effort. Needless to say, for us today, all employees, it's all hands on deck until further notice. We'll also be mobilizing equipment and materials to the appropriate locations that might incur damage. We also, as part of our plan, proactively maintain communication with our municipal and elected stakeholders. So part of what I do during a storm event is I smother the mayor's inbox with emails on everything that's going on, just to maintain transparency and also identify any common areas where we need to work together to resolve an issue. We also reach out directly to our customers through traditional methods, social media, email, text, to inform them of the storm, our preparations, and for them to also prepare and be safe. We also conduct outbound calls to elderly, blind, disabled, asking them to prepare. We also maintain a list of customers that are on life support. They use electricity for certain types of equipment, as well as critical facilities. Those are public safety buildings, medical facilities, etc. So we monitor all of those customers during a storm, and we ask them to prepare and follow their own action plan. But we do stay in touch with them throughout the entirety of an event. We're committed to maintaining safety. I heard the mayor and others this morning remind us all, if you don't have to travel, stay off the road. Not only does it help the city's crews clear the road, but it also allows us to get to where we need to be. So if you don't need to go out, please don't. Give our crews some room. If you do have to go out, please proceed slowly if you're driving near a crew that's working to restore service. A couple safety tips real quick. If you're going to operate an emergency generator, remember to do it outside. We've had some events here in the Capital Region in the past with disastrous results. Also, make sure that you open your main breaker so that if you are operating a generator, it's connected to your service panel. It's not backfeeding and creating voltage or power that our crews might unnecessarily be aware of. Additional information, always treat every downed wire as if it were live. Customers that are also registered with us can stay connected through a couple means. Obviously, if you've lost power, you're not going to be able to go in and log in online. You might not have internet service, but we have a really great mobile app, so you can report an interruption that way. If you are looking for updates, you can type the REG or text REG to 64743, and you will receive periodic updates regarding the interruptions in your area. For additional real-time info, you can visit our Outage Central website, as I mentioned earlier. Customers that want to report an interruption, another really great point, don't assume that we know that you're out. Okay? I've had that conversation time and again with all of my community stakeholders. If you're out, please let us know. It might be just your individual house. If you don't know, don't assume that we know. So we ask all of our customers to call us promptly at 800-642-4272. We're prepared for the worst, but we're hoping for the best. Thanks.
Great. And I hope that all of the media outlets will post that number. I can't stress enough how important it is that you call that number if you experience a power outage. Calling 911 with a power outage just adds an extra step to the process of getting that reported, and it clogs up our emergency lines when they may have to be responding to life-threatening situations. So I think you clearly get the theme. This storm is predicted to be pretty fierce. Stay off the roads. It's not going to be safe to be out. Really be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the fact that, we expect with this heavy snow for tree limbs and wires to potentially come down. All of those should be avoided. And a little preparation today is going to go a long way in helping us to get through this tomorrow, and then get those streets cleared so that we're ready for the NCAA tournament on Friday. Any questions from the press?
Yeah, how many outages are we expecting in our area? Have you cleaned up everything since the last storm, like a week ago?
Yeah, so last week, we were just talking about this a moment ago. We had upwards of 4 to 5 inches of heavy, wet snow, and I think we all saw the impacts. Was probably the most impactful weather event that National Grid experienced this past winter so far. And so we're expecting potentially the same impacts later this week as a result of the storm. Have we cleaned up everything? I did notice there are a lot of fallen trees and branches at the side of the road. Some of those, we leave to homeowners and property owners to address. To the best of my knowledge, we had every customer restored Sunday night, bar none.
Question for Sergio, trash collection?
Trash collection will continue. Might be slow, might be affected a little bit snow, but we made contingency plan in our emergency plan for trash collection. So yes, there will be trash collection.
All right. Stay safe out there. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Well done.
All right.
Hopefully,